I didn't end well. Over to you, sir. I'm just laughing when Anita was reading it.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. I greet everyone specially, and good evening, anywhere you're listening from. Good evening. The thing is this. Said something earlier before today. The day Yomi went for that excursion to the state command, I said it, or maybe on Temi's platform, I said it. I said, Yomi did not go to the state command to do any rally. Yomi went there for his own self. And this letter you just read now highlighted and confirmed everything from the rally. Number one, which is clear, is the fact that truly there was an invitation for Yomi at the state command, which by the former commissioner of police, which he did not honor. Yomi knew there was an invitation for him. He did not honor that invitation because he knew that he might be arrested. He didn't honor that invitation.
Sorry to cut you in. Apart from that invitation from the former police, that
just was 1 minute. No, I'm coming again. 1 minute, John. I'm going to drop and come back. 1 minute.
I come back. Oh. He's back.
Ọlọ́run ló yan invisitor àbá ti fún yín ní fine.
Mi jẹ oya ọ̀pọ̀ tó ṣe máa yẹ ẹ̀kan tí ẹ má bínú.
No, mo kàn ní láti sáré ṣe àkànní. So, no, visitor, okay, I'm listening to you.
Apart from that former ọlọ́pàá tó ti lọ yẹn, that was the petition for him. There was another one after for the news ọlọ́pàá gangan. Mo kàn fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ yẹn.
No, only between mo ń lọ listening. The thing is this, the former CP, based on the case of Adura, there was an invitation fún lórí case yẹn tó ń parọ́ lórí 3 seconds video yìí. There was an invitation for him. Don't forget the fact that Yomi said it that he went to the state command. Wọ́n sọ fún pé we've investigated this case. Bó ṣe rí lélẹ̀ yìí. Yomi agree pẹ̀lú wọn ní ibẹ̀ yẹn. Only for him to come outside. He left that place, come outside and start pushing wrong narrative. So they invited him again based on that one. Ó dẹ̀ mọ̀ wípé tóun bá lọ síbẹ̀ wọ́n máa arrest òun. He was very, because he knew the offence he had committed. So kò lè dá lọ. The whole rally, everything, the whole excursion, because it was not a rally. Yomi knew from day one that there was not going to be that kò sí nǹkankan tó ń jẹ́ rally ní Gani Fáyẹ̀mí Park. He knew from day one, because number one, at least with what I know, in Lagos State, anywhere, or even in Nigeria as a whole, anywhere you want to have a rally, first you must write to the police. Second, they must give you an approval for you to do that, your rally or sit out or whatsoever you call it. Now, I know somebody asked, one of them, Boya Opolu Eshingba, asked Yomi that, did you write to the relevant authority and which approval did they give you to do that rally? Àwọn defender Yomi, wọ́n sáré defend here, wọ́n shot onítọ̀hún yẹn down. Yomi knew he had this plan from day one. The old Gani Fáyẹ̀mí peace concert was to raise money. Now, have you asked yourself, you did not write to the police that you want to do, that you want to do that. At what point did the police invite you and they told you come to their office or anything? Yomi knew kò lè dá lọ sí state command. He needed people to go with him under the guise of the NGO and rally, because he knows that, tó bá jẹ́ pé rally la ṣe ni wọn ò lè arrest mi. because it is going to like send a wrong narrative out there. So he knew the police were not going to arrest him. So teba watch ọjọ́ yẹn tán lọ sí ibẹ̀ yẹn gangan. The half of the video Yomi was showing, he was making reference to wọ́n náà invite me wá ṣebí mi rè ń bí báyìí, wọ́n invite me wá ṣebí mi rè ń bí báyìí. 50% or 60% of what Yomi was saying was reference to wọ́n invite me wá ṣebí mi rè ń bí báyìí. Now put that aside. Yomi knew now, understand the fact that there is another petition for him that he needs to answer. Ìyẹn sìn yìí ni ò fẹ́ answer tó fi lọ ń kọ eléyìí as a counter ìpè ẹ kan look into it. No, you will answer that petition. He will answer the petition. Gbogbo tó ń ṣe yìí, it is just running from pillar to post. Yomi had tried to run to the AIG. It did not work. Torí ẹ̀ nígbà tó rí pé ti AIG yẹn work, you know the whole shout is, oh, a warrant of arrest has been issued for Mohbad for killing. The police, see, let me tell you something. That is why I look at people who come online and say so many things. They feel like, oh, I can say anything. The relevant security agency, the police, even the DSS or any relevant security agency, they are actually online. They listen to what you are saying. Bó ṣe ń wá tó ṣe ń sọ fún èèyàn wípé oh the police kìnìkan kọ́ lọ attack police kọ́ lọ ṣe kìnìkan gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ́n people yìí ń gbọ́ now. Now they've invited you. Why are you writing to the same police that some few days ago here you are saying like, oh, they are compromised, that the citizens should stand up, that you are rallying up people against the same police. Now you are writing to the police to save you. No. And in the case, Shadi, from day one, see your meeting push you 3 seconds video. He was just being stupid about it. He was just being stupid about it. Me later. And some people who have listened to me, at the point, man, sọ fún pé ẹ má bí Yomi o, ẹ fi sílẹ̀ ó jẹ́ kó máa ṣe nǹkan tó ń ṣe lọ o, because even though he's not doing the right way, but I feel like okay, baba yìí at least he's still keeping the conversation going or whatsoever. Let nobody curse him if he feels like this is the way. But ìgbà tó ti rí irọ́ tó ti di irọ́ mú yẹn, because kò rí another narrative láti bank on for relevancy. Because the thing is this, Yomi had tried the CCTV camera. He relied on it so much. He played the whole game that he can put it on Muyiwa and the likes, or not compromise, not shaking anything. But in this video that he's talking about, can you wípé Yomi ti gbọ́rọ̀ sí Karimo lẹ́nu ni? I feel like he would not be where he is today. Because Karimo tètè mọ̀ wípé this thing is not going to end well. Yes, we will make narrative with it. People will listen to us. But ìgbẹ̀yìn kíní yóò ní dá. Karimo knew, she forsake all these things. Ni Karimo ṣe tètè kúrò lórí ẹ̀. But àwọn wèrè tó ń support yẹ, tó ń ride yẹ, bọ̀dá Yomi, òun ló máa fún wa ní nǹkan báyìí, òun ló máa fún wa ní kíní kan báyìí. Wọ́n kó sí lórí, and he was making the money that he was out for. So òun náà ó get carried away lórí gbogbo ó feel okay, this is how this thing is going to be. Now he is left to solve this problem on his own. One thing I want you people to understand is this: the petition that this guy has received, it is not for Break the Silence Foundation. It is against himself as a person. Lórí gbogbo lórí kings of Itoshin ring and the petition. At least me, I know that at least there your petition to work for Yomi is at least that I am at least actually to be married. Bóyá ìtorí yẹn òun ló ṣì rí o, but that I know of, at least ó ṣì to be married. And none of it is for Break the Silence Foundation. It is against him and as a person, the things to which he has said. There's a petition against him for inciting the public against the Nigerian police force.
All right, I said it before, Abi.
There is me mo bóyá wọ́n ti fún nìyẹn, but mo mọ̀ pé ìyẹn wà. There is a petition against him and there is an evidence for him. Gbogbo bí tó ti ń ṣe fídíò lọ́jọ́ tó ń kan máa bá ṣe rẹ̀ lọ tó ń jó tó ń ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ ọjọ́ iná ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀, and he was there in kò ń ṣe pé I did it. No, he did it. He said it. He was riling up people, inciting the public against the Nigerian police. So gbogbo ìtò ń ṣe yẹn. So the thing is, see, ó ní nǹkan tí mo ṣe rí ẹ mi ready láti sọ anything. I'm waiting for tomorrow patiently. Ikú ò ní pa wá, àrùn ò ní ṣe anybody nínú wa. Mi ìfẹ́ waste ṣẹ́rí mi ìfẹ́ waste voice mi because ọ̀la ẹjọ́ máa pọ̀ gan, a máa rojọ́ gan lọ́la o.
Ọlá yẹ.
Ẹni tí ò bá ti ṣe lọ mọ́ ẹ lọ máa bomi gbóná báyìí kẹ máa lá tọ́mtọ́mù kẹ máa lá bàbá blue kẹ máa lá oyin kẹ máa treat ohun yín because a máa ro ẹjọ́ lọ́la.
Ọlá yẹn.
See, let me tell you the thing is this. These people, I said it on Temi's platform yesterday night, that these people, àwọn tó rán àwọn people ìníṣẹ́ gangan, wọ́n ti dé end road of their game.
End of the road, end of the yeah.
So what they are trying to do now is to cause distraction again. With this bóyá ń fi pé Nata Yomi yìí àwọn èèyàn tún gbé àánú wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń sọ àwọn máa divert wa. No kò sí diversion.
That's all.
Anything from now till tomorrow is our expectation from the inquest. That is what we are waiting for. See, the thing is this. Josie, BJ, our criminal thinkers, all of them within that circle, they know the result already.
The autopsy.
They know the result of their autopsy already. One more week, there is nothing there. And Toba Fidiola, see, nurse, Tolomba Sheti nurse, abi nurse, the most important thing tomorrow is not the nurse.
No.
The most important thing tomorrow is not the nurse. I don't care what the nurse is coming to say tomorrow. Ìyẹn ò kàn mí. Bóun nurse kó padà wá lọ́la kó sọ wípé ẹ Wùnmí ló fóun lábẹ́rẹ́ tóun fi gún Mohbad òun ló ra gbogbo kíníkan wá. It is inconsequential ní táìmù tá a dé yìí. Nurse ti give statement fọlọ́pàá àti DPP. Ó ti give statement fún Nigerian Medical Association tó ti jẹ́ kí DPP wò wípé okay jẹ́ ká charge yẹ. To ti mú recommendation yẹn wá. So coming to the inquest to change narrative, it is not on Omowunmi again.
God bless
now you. It is going to be on the Nigerian Medical Association, the DPP that made a recommendation, and even the Nigerian Police Force tó sọ̀rọ̀ tó gbé case yẹn lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ DPP tó fi jẹ́ kó ṣe kàn. So it has nothing to do with Wunmi again. Mo rán yẹn kan táwọn ìwé wípé ẹ tí nọ́ọ̀sì bá jáde lọ́la tó bá ṣẹ́rí kí nọ́ọ̀sì yẹn jáde lọ́la gan kó wá parọ́ lè mí gbàdúrà.
Ẹ̀wọ̀n abàgùn sí ni.
Àdúrà yẹn lè mí gbà.
Wọ́n lè change sí manslaughter lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀.
Ó lè wá change narrative yẹn wípé no Wùnmí o òun ló ní kí n ṣe báyìí o òun ló ṣe kí n ṣe báyìí ìyẹn ni kéèsì yẹn máa fi dùn. Because now it is now going to be. See, it would have been another case if the DPP had not made a recommendation to the court regarding this case.
Exactly.
DPP ti gbé case kan lọ, which simply means there is our investigation kan ti ṣẹlẹ̀. Pathologist ti government ti give suggestion tiẹ̀, ó ti give advice tiẹ̀. DPP ti ó ti gbé lọ fún magistrate pé kí o tí nǹkan bá rí báyìí kí lẹ máa advice wa ká ṣe. Magistrate ń sìn ti give advice pé nǹkan báyìí ni kẹ́ ṣe. So now tí nọ́ọ̀sì bá jáde lọ́la tó bá change story, which means gbogbo nǹkan tó DPP gbé lọ sìn yìí tó fi lọ sọ pé wọ́n kọ́kọ́ lọ ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ yẹn ó ti kọ́kọ́ taint gbogbo kinní yẹn. Gbogbo àwọn ẹni tó sọ wípé wọ́n free o wọ́n free ẹ o wọ́n ó lọ o kéèsì ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa wá padà sí square zero.
exactly from the beginning.
wọ́n máa bi nọ́ọ̀sì wípé òkè o nígbà tó fún wa ní statement yìí wípé ìwọ ló fún ní paracetamol o fún ní nǹkan báyìí o fún ní nǹkan báyìí o fún ní nǹkan báyìí ṣé òun sùn gbà yẹn ni a ní no for how long ló fi ń wá tó fi ń sign ní bíbá yìí wàá sọ pé over 1 year so kí ló mú ẹ tó ò dérí pẹ̀lú legal adviser ẹ kó sọ pé o fẹ́ change statement ẹ.
Exactly.
nígbà tí a gbé kèsì lọ sí magistrate kí ló mú ẹ tó sọ pé o fẹ́ change statement yẹ kó dìde kó sọ wípé irọ́ ni gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n kà ní against yẹn ní magistrate so o acknowledge pé òótọ́ níbẹ̀ yẹn so kí ló mú ẹ tó wá parọ́ ń bíbá yìí kí náà ṣe mọ̀ pé under the law for you to lie under oath ṣe mọ̀ pé crime kan ni àbí offence kan ni ṣe perjury àbí kí náà ń pè wípò tiẹ̀ parọ́ under oath yẹn ṣe mọ̀ pé ẹ̀wọ̀n kan nìyẹn so èmi ò ní kéèsì pẹ̀lú gbogbo tí nọ́ọ̀sì fẹ́ wá sọ ìtẹ̀mí ní tèmi wá interested òun ni nǹkan tí pathologist jù sí fẹ́ wá kà mo dúró dé kó wá sọ wípé no ìwọ tìjọba o wrong kó wá di state versus jòsí.
àní mo ti sọ.
That is what I am waiting for. So outcome result pathologist wọn tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ti mọ̀ tọ́ọ̀ lè sọ síta látijọ́ yìí èmi mọ̀ pé kò favour wọn ni. So tí result pathologist bá jáde ìgbà yẹn gangan lọ̀rọ̀ bá wá dùn sọ because it will now boil down to don't forget this. See most of everybody ò dẹ̀ dìmọ̀ because ṣẹ́rí I do tell people thank God Anita Bella is here. All right, you know she's actually she's a legal person. So all right, she can help.
Sanu Anita Bella ó yá gbé wọn débẹ̀. Gbé wọn débẹ̀ sanu ọmọ mi.
Báwo.
Have you like law? The law might actually be silent, but it is what it is.
Mr. Tosi.
Yeah.
Number one.
Mr. Tosi.
Tell me wípé Corona law of Lagos State.
Mr. Tosi.
Kò ní bàjẹ́ baby leave Mr. Tosi to flow na kí ló dé báyìí.
Abeg bóyá ẹ máa sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́n tó ṣe máa
Mr. Tosi ẹ máa sọ̀rọ̀ yìí lọ
Tell
jàre.
me wípé there is something about the Corona law of Lagos State tó wà against wípé o lọ bury èèyàn without autopsy and everything. It is a crime under the Corona law of Lagos State.
Yes,
that
sir.
is one. Number two, tẹ́ bá rántí pathologist ti Lagos State nígbà tó wá ka inquest yẹn tó wá last yẹn that man said something tèmi dìmú sọ́wọ́ òsì tèmi ń dúró dè láti jọjọ yìí the man made it ó jẹ́ kó yé magistrate wípé because this boy was buried on time without the autopsy ni ò jẹ́ kí wọ́n lè rí conclusion lórí test táwọn carry out.
No, he said that Mohbad was buried in a wrong casket. He wasn't embalmed. And that the autopsy wasn't done at the right time.
Because
The body fluid
why was the
needed to test
autopsy
for
not done the
something.
right time? Why was the autopsy not done the right
9
time?
days.
Because he was buried abruptly.
And then here now, so now, ibi tẹ́mi ń lọ gangan nìyẹn. What we are waiting for is for his own pathologist to come now and give us like, okay, this thing ta ṣe o, àwa náà rí wípé inconclusive ló já mọ́. Kí lọ́ọ̀yà kan wá bí pé báwo ló ṣe jẹ́ inconclusive? At least you be able to give reason why the test is inconclusive. It should now tally with what the government pathologist said that because this guy was hurriedly buried without the autopsy being done and everything. Àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ wípé the case will now be who buried this guy hurriedly.
Bam!
That's the case now. Because ṣẹ́rí àwọn people yìí lọ ṣẹ́rí ẹni tó bá fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe case àbí tí ìjọba bá fẹ́ mú ẹ rọra ṣe. And now in the course of Josie talking there is also a video evidence where Josie has confirmed that even Darosha told him wípé ó yẹ ká autopsy kìíní yìí o
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
But he said no.
Yeah.
He gave the direction. In fact, he was the one who told them where to bury the body. So the case story and the mission came you already don't contain me for anybody to bá ti di ọ̀la. It is the pathologist we are waiting for. Once the pathologist come to give his own report, kẹwàá ṣe báwọn náà competition láti jọ yìí tó ń lọ radio station tó ń ṣe yàn kan. Now we would now get the confirmation and clarification medically that the guy was hurriedly buried, and because he was hurriedly buried, the autopsy could not confirm the cause of death. Now the petition will now be against who buried this guy hurriedly under the corona law of Lagos State. So èmi rest the case ni anybody tó bá fẹ́ ṣe case lẹ́yìn yẹn they threw something in the coffin, in the casket, ìyẹn kọ́ ni problem mọ̀ ń sìn yìí. They bent his neck, ìyẹn kọ́ ni problem mọ̀ ń sìn yìí. Wọ́n ra small casket gan, òun kọ́ ni problem. Ta ló give order wípé kọ́ lọ bury bọ̀bọ̀ yìí? Who buried this guy? That's the question. It is not about who were there. It is not about I met 100 people in the house. Ta ló bury bọ̀bọ̀ yìí? Ta ló give order wípé kẹ́ lọ bury bọ̀bọ̀ yìí? Bóyá tó bá kọ́ di dàrúṣà ni ẹ ṣe mí jẹ́jẹ́ o. Bóyá wọ́n á di wùnmí mú wùnmí àìṣe mí jẹ́jẹ́ ẹbí bàbá ẹ̀. And don't forget pé Dòsí ti sọ fúnra ẹ̀ wípé nígbà tóun kúrò ní general hospital bóyá bíi 3 àbí 4 lóru òun wá ń rìn lọ láti lọ ṣe preparation ibi tó máa sin sí. So bí bọ́dì yẹn ṣe dé Ìkòròdú láti Lẹ́kí lóru yẹn gbogbo ẹ̀ náà máa wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í ṣàlàyé ṣé rí gbogbo nǹkan tá a fẹ́ analyse láti day one tí wọ́n kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ tán ní bàbá ẹ̀ ní kíníkan gbogbo bẹ̀ láti máa wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ń sìn yìí. Ta ló kọ́kọ́ give order wípé ọjọ́ ta bá rí bí ni bí wọlé ó yẹ páàkì ẹ̀ ó di Ìkòròdú lálẹ́ yìí. Wọ́n á bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti bẹ̀ yẹn ibi tí kéèsì ń lọ gangan òun sì nìyẹn. So èmi ń save strength mi ó di ọ̀la tán bá ti dé láti tí magistrate tán bá ti ṣe àráìsí tí lord tí magistrate wọlé tán pe pathologist ìyẹn lèmi ń dúró dè kọ̀sẹ̀ mi wà pé pathologist ti máa wà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ báyìí tó bá jẹ́ pé ti Ìbàràpá ẹ̀ ni á ti wà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́.
àwọn tó ṣe mo lè bèrè ẹjọ́ tí pathologist ò bá wá yọjú lọ́la nǹkan tó tún fún wa lẹ́sìn lọ́la nǹkan kí ni ká ní.
Bench warrant.
It is impossible. It is impossible. It is impossible. Nǹkan tó bá let me tell you something. No, let me tell you something. The thing is
anybody tí wàá ti appear lọ́la adájọ́ sọ fún my issue bench warrant.
No, ṣé kí n sọ̀kan fún yín fún àwọn ẹni tí magistrate invite which is àwọn tó state orúkọ wọn Naira Marley, Samilari, Karimo, ṣe Prime Boy, Wunmi and the likes àwọn yẹn ni court in the case of this autopsy let me tell you something. The pathologist and even Josie might decide not to present it. Mm-hmm. It is not binding by law. Ìjọba kọ́ ló ní kẹ́ lọ ṣe ẹ̀yin lẹ́lẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe. So tí ò bá tẹ́ yín lọ́rùn tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá padà wá sílé ẹjọ́ ilé ẹjọ́ the case torí ẹ̀ mo ṣe máa sọ fún yín wípé the outcome of this inquest is not dependent on nǹkan tí Josie lọ gbé wá. Tí Josie lọ gbé wá has nothing to do with this case. The only thing tí Josie fẹ́ wá ṣe ni wípé tí pathologist yẹn bá dé tó bá sọ wípé my lord pathologist ìjọba sọ wípé àwọn ò rí stab lára ẹ̀ wọn ò gún níbi báyìí but ìgbà táwa lọ ṣe tiwa tarí fọ́ àmọ́ ẹ̀ my lord ẹ bá wa wò ń bí báyìí wọ́n gún níbẹ̀. It is to counter that of the state government. It is not to decide which is right and which is wrong. Ẹni ìlànà kọ́kọ́ gẹ̀ẹ́tì yẹn Josie ló lóun fẹ́ lọ ṣe wọ́n fún ní permission pé lọ ṣe fúnra ẹ̀ kò sí ìtó kan. Ṣé nǹkan tí mò ń sọ yẹ yín torí ẹ̀ it is similar to the DNA case. Tí Josie bá decide pé òun ò ṣe DNA mọ́ kò síjọba tó lè mú sí kò sí nǹkan tó kàn kò ń ṣe criminal offence. Tí Josie bá sọ pé òun ò ṣe mọ́ o kò sí nǹkan tó kàn òun kò sí nǹkan kan tó kàn ẹ lè sọ pé kán lọ arrest ẹ ó exercise right ẹ̀ ní ẹ̀dẹ̀ tí fún terms and conditions pé ó yá tó bá fẹ́ ṣe o lọ ṣe nǹkan báyìí lọ ṣe nǹkan báyìí lọ ṣe báyìí tí ò bá meet condition yẹn kò sí tó kàn nìyẹn òun ni ò meet yẹ So ọrùn Wùnmí ló wà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ DNA. So Josie and his legal team, they know that. So ti autopsy yìí náà gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe yìí sí we would be only a máa tọ́ra wa nìkan ní tá a bá sọ wípé Josie àtọwọ́ kitchen cabinet yẹn wọn ò tí mọ̀ nǹkan tó wà ní autopsy yẹn is a lie. There is nothing there. So fúnra ọgọ́ wọn ti máa explore opportunity yẹn pé what if our pathology does not come tomorrow? Kí ni nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀? Kò sí nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ náà bóyá kí bàbá Àbàràpá gan máa wà ká dẹ̀ máa parọ́ wípé wọ́n ti ń threaten life ẹ̀ wọ́n ti ń ṣe kíní kan òun ni òfin wá tí magistrate ò bá rí pathologist Josie lọ́la ó máa continue pẹ̀lú kéèsì ẹ̀ ní kò ní business pẹ̀lú pathologist Josie láti day one.
Josie fún wọn ní scope ni o pé òun fẹ́ lọ kàn kọ́ọ̀tì ni o.
Let me tell you something. Yes, sir.
Shema, whatever the pathologist Josie Bani is not admissible evidence in that place.
Now,
the government pathologist in
result. Josie ló ní.
So the only thing the pathologist Josie kò lè ṣe ni pé kó question government pathologist based on his own knowledge and nǹkan tó ń dẹ̀ ṣe. Yes, and tí Josie bá feel wípé nǹkan tí pathologist tòun sọ ó yàtọ̀ sí ti government pathologist, if at the end of the inquest bá ti give advice tiwọn, then Josie can sue Lagos State government wípé òun doubt the pathology results tí wọ́n gbé fóun is whatever he is bringing tomorrow is not admissible evidence in the coroner court.
That is true. You know the thing is this. Let me even point what you are saying. Josie has no right to sue the Lagos State government in any way. Yeah. Josie cannot sue the Lagos State government in any way. Right. Because number one, this case has nothing to do with Josie at all.
No,
Josie can push. Let me tell you something.
He's an interested party, sir.
No, wait. I need to reject some coffee, and I think Anita can actually put this here. So let me tell you
something. 1 second, sir.
Yeah, he's not a lawyer as well.
As much as whatever Josie's pathologist is bringing tomorrow is not an admissible evidence, yes.
Definitely.
However, it can and I'm going to use my word carefully. Please allow me finish. It can affect the proceedings, and this is how it can affect it. If there is a discrepancy with the private autopsy from what the government autopsy carries, the coroner would now instruct for a third autopsy to take place.
God bless you.
Where it will now involve both the government pathologist and the private pathologist, where they will have to they will now have to do the examination together and agree on some certain things to be facts.
And Isabella, that is on the discretion of the coroner judge.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
1 second.
On the
can I finish,
discretion, please? Coroner judge.
Can I finish, please?
Okay, I'm waiting.
The law must be deemed to be fair.
Definitely.
See, please, man, let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me finish. When I finish, then you can take it away. The law must be deemed to be fair. Okay. And there is no coroner judge that will brush aside a discrepancy just in the name of power. That will be an abuse of power, and at that point, Josie can sue. So no coroner judge is going to do that. The coroner judge is going to allow for a third autopsy, and we have seen this play before in the case of Lagos State government versus Autonomy. It happened there, where Oromoni's private pathologist, even though both pathologists were present as at sample taking, both had two different results. And because they both had two different results, they had to, the coroner judge had to request for a third one to be done. This time around, both pathologists were present, not just present, but a key word was used. Both pathologists needed to come to an agreement of some truth. So both of them arrived at some truth, which now became admissible in court. It was that third, sorry, ma, I'm coming. Let me finish. I would allow you. It was the third pathologist result, the third autopsy and pathologist result that was now admissible, and that was the basis for the judgment of the coroner court.
I totally agree with you. But can I ask a question now for clarity's sake? I want you to update me on this.
Okay.
This pathology, this autopsy by Josie,
Yes.
did Wumi to have a pathologist that participated in the whole process?
Wumi's pathologist was only there on the basis of observation.
When they were taking the specimen.
It was
Only when
there on the
was it
basis
just
of...
when they were taking the specimen, or they did it together?
No, they didn't do it together. That's why I chose my word carefully. Wumi's pathologist was there on the basis of observation, which means, if I were to conclude, Wumi's pathologist took part in the autopsy, but not in the toxicology. Because autopsy is the physical examination of the body.
Of the body,
Toxicology is the chemical evaluation of a body.
Yeah,
so
that's
Wumi's
true.
pathologist never left with a sample, but he was present as a witness to what was done by the private pathologist of Josie. That was what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I would want to agree with you. Yeah. That in the
That's where you're
interest of
coming
fairness
from.
and
It would
justice,
have been different. It would have been different if Wumi's pathologist actually partook in the
I
autopsy
thought
and
it was
toxicology.
I thought Wumi's pathologist partook in it.
No, he did
so
not.
At that instance, I was looking at it that it would be 2 against
one. Yes, it would have not.
And
Yes, at that point,
if at that
just gives
point,
it away,
it would
yeah.
be at the judge's discretion.
exactly. Because there would have been 2 results saying one thing and one
Yeah.
result saying another thing. At that
Yeah.
point, there would have been no need for a third one. But now, so
Yeah.
far, so good. Only 3 autopsies have been done, and 2 toxicology reports have been carried out. That's what.
3
has happened.
autopsies.
Yeah, 3 autopsies, as in physical examination of the body, in the sense that Wumi's pathologist was there to conduct an autopsy. He actually examined the physical features of the body, meaning while he was observing and the other pathologist was doing whatever he was doing, he observed as well. He took down his notes as well. That is an autopsy. That's an autopsy. But
I
the
understand
toxicology itself was then carried out by Josie's lawyers, Josie's toxicologist, and the government toxicologist.
But you know what I believe tomorrow? I can bet anybody £1,000 that this pathologist from
Yes.
Josie
Yes.
is going to come out with the same result as the government pathologist.
As a matter of fact, he might even come out with a more degraded result.
Because because he knows he will be due, his name and his reputation will be at stake. Because for any pathologist to come out and say something different, then there is something, there is something not right.
Yeah.
So, and for the fact that it has been kept it has been kept very secretive, shows that something has not gone the way they had expected it to.
Exactly.
Let me
I know that.
So very large. When I look at
And
Josie's
if you
people, I
remember,
wonder.
the government pathologist actually in court, he showed a video.
Yes.
So for for this new pathologist to say, no, you got it wrong somewhere, he needs to show a physical video of what he did and how he arrived at what he got.
Yes. And then you now go further to now, I think Josie's people, first and foremost, they missed a particular point. Yes.
The number of people, this argument, say view has done plenty. So yeah, I continue.
I think to a very large extent, Josie's people are missing a very pivotal point. And that is the fact that even their lawyers have established, by the reason of observing Mohbad's body, that there was no injury to that body.
Exactly.
Other than the injury the nurse came to treat. Which goes further to establish that even if Josie's toxicologist or pathologist comes back with another result, it would only affect whoever fed him anything into his body.
You know what?
Toxicology, please allow me.
The results they want from this.
Allow me finish, ma.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Because whatever the toxicologist is coming with has to do with toxins in the body. meaning
Yeah.
it must have been ingested or injected into his body,
his body.
which will further arrive at the first conclusion the DPP has come up with, which has to do with the nurse or
Exactly.
whoever fed him within a certain period of time for his
Exactly.
demise, which then might now
Yeah, no,
implicate
don't
the
come
brother of
and
the
visit to this
disease.
place and go and talk rubbish in your platform. Nonsense.
That's just it. I'm so intellectually
This is Anita, Dave, Abby, please. I love this. Like I was in the window or whatever, and I had to come in. I'm so in love with the two of you.
They Abby as in lawyers for you. Tomorrow,
Etí dáwà ti lọ gbàwẹ̀ Ramadan yìí. Ó dà pé máa kọ́ gba ní tabẹ́là kí dáwà tó dé o. But Pythagoras ti gba tèmi already. Ó dà pé mi máa wà lọ́dọ̀ àmì tábàyì.
ẹ má gbà mí lọ́wọ́ nǹkan mi o.
Nínú sí ìwà
Àìrọ̀ o.
Mr. Oluwatosin, me, I'm handing you the keys to the mansion.
When I look at this case, I am
Dáwà ti gbàwẹ̀ lọ. Ó ti
interested,
Dáwà ti gbàwẹ̀ lọ́jọ́rí. Ẹ jíyàwó.
interested and invested in this case. And if you ask me why, because I know this case will lay a precedence
Yeah.
Correct.
in Nigerian law.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
Anita said that this morning. I'm so impressed. I love you. I love you. I followed you. I love you.
This case would teach Nigerians that there is a big distinction between morality and the law. Baba
Látẹ̀wọ́ jọ torí Ọlọ́run.
they are judging Wumi based on morality. Wumi ò níwà, mo gbà. Wumi burú, mo gbà. Wumi rude, mo gbà. Wumi fúyà Mohbad lẹ́ranko oṣó, mo gbà.
Okay.
Wumi ò jẹ́ kí ìyá Mohbad gbé ọmọ, mo gbà. But ṣé nǹkan tó pa Mohbad nìyẹn?
Oh yeah, they're talking about behavior and attitude.
We're talking about law here, not morality.
Please appreciate these women for me.
Oh, God bless you.
Enjoy.
Àmì tabẹ́là máa pàtẹ́wọ́ fún àwọn pípì lánàá.
Oh,
There is a difference, like,
you, man.
between a moral obligation and a legal duty. You understand what I'm saying?
Thank you. Thank
If
you.
tí mo bá ń kọjá lọ ní títì tí ilé èèyàn kan bá ń jóná, mo ní moral obligation as a human being wípé jẹ́ n pe panápaná or jẹ́ kí n help wọn, but I do not have a legal duty to do it. If I decide to walk past, nobody will sue me for that. You understand what I'm saying? And that is what we Nigerians, Nigerians, we are mobile your sentiments kúrò ní law. And that is what nǹkan tó ń bí mi nínú gbogbo kéèsì ni. Pẹ̀lú gbogbo àwọn tó kóra wọn jọ, you understand? We sit down, we clone our own understanding of law. We begin to apply it in our own cubicle lórí fóònù wa, nǹkan tí ò di ẹnu ọ̀nà court. Wumi tán kígbe yìí, as far as today, 13th of September 2025, she is not a suspect. Thank you very much, ma.
Host náà wẹ́n mo gift you. Mẹ́jọ lé wa lọ.
You understand what I'm saying? Wumi is not a suspect. And there is no evidence on ground to remotely point to Wumi. Wumi had an altercation. There's a difference between an altercation and fight. She had an altercation with her husband in the car. Is there anything that is against the law in having an altercation with the husband? She had an altercation at home. Wunmi should have taken Mohbad to the hospital. Mohbad is a full-fledged adult who has capacity
To make decisions.
to make his own decisions.
Like
When you look at the 7 hours of medication you have, there is a right to refuse medication. It is a right to refuse medication. Ẹni tó wà lọ́sípítù gan tó fẹ́ kú tó ní cancer, only right láti refuse medication as far as that person has got capacity. It is only when that person has no capacity, number 4 say. You understand what I'm saying? He, as an adult, refused to go to the hospital. What would Wunmi have done? Kó lọ háyà àwọn alábàárù. Ó ní ó yẹ bá mi ru Mohbad, ó yá lọ hospital. Under normal circumstances, what she had done, what any reasonable and or rational human being would do under the circumstances. So where has she gone wrong? Where has she gone wrong?
When you talk about that,
those people, they are so self-absorbed, and I don't even know what verb láti qualify wọn, that they are not, they are so myopic in their thinking, and ibi tí ọpọlọ wọn tó dé òní wípé the only thing they are seeing and they want to see is that Wunmi ló pa Mohbad.
Exactly.
They are not even giving any room láti ronú pé it might not be Wunmi. Let us look at it the other way around. What they are looking for is not justice for Mohbad. What they are looking for is imprisonment for Wunmi at all costs.
And access to Mohbad's property.
Is that property going? That is what they are all looking into.
Access to the property.
And they have failed.
Woefully.
Wallahi, they have failed. There is no judge on earth who would prosecute Wunmi for Mohbad's death.
They are when we are talking about rights to refuse, in mental health, it's called consent to treatment.
Sure.
Some patients would say to you, they would accept treatment. That means they consented to treatment. They call it T2. According to NICE guidelines. Then there is T3, patients that do not consent to because they have not got the capacity to do so, which is why you do the capacity act first on them. Mental capacity act on them to see that if this person is not able to consent to treatment, then there's a guideline, there's a legal guideline to it.
Yeah.
Káwá tó fún yàn medication gan, tí ó bá sí nínú kíní wọn á lè fún yàn. That person must have a C2, T2 or T3. If not, we cannot. Anyway, I'm blaming me.
Also, it is important to clarify what Dave Abby meant when she said capacity. She wasn't saying capacity as per his size or his height. Capacity refers to 1, his age, 2, his mental state. So because Mohbad was above 18, he had the legal capacity, that is by law. He was deemed to be an adult who could take certain
the ability to make that
himself
decision at that time.
Also, he had
a wrong decision does not mean you do not have capacity. It was a wrong decision for Mohbad to have said, I'm not going to use the hospital, but still it is his choice.
It's his choice.
It is still his choice.
Even there were witnesses in the house. DJ Bami said it.
Spending said that Padi mi just
DJ Bami said at the inquest that Mohbad refused to go to the hospital. He refused and he asked that they should call his nurse. DJ Bami said it at the inquest. Then Mohbad refused to go to the hospital. I don't know why they
please, I'm going to beg us for one thing. Can we allow someone finish before we cut the person off? You might just be altering somebody's line of thought. So, like I was saying, and as Dave Abby has further buttressed, these things that he had the capacity to choose whether he was going to be treated in a hospital or not be treated in a hospital is very evidential. I mean, he made the first call to his own personal nurse who was not available.
Exactly.
And requested for his friend to get him a nurse. Now, Spending, I want to address you and a few persons who are supporting you in a very blinded manner. You asked a question, Oreni Mosheo, Oremi Tifema Dibibayo. And this is a very huge lesson. I feel like if we stay on justice of Mohbad for 17, 18 months and we do not take home anything, it will be a shame on a lot of us. Because at the end of the day, we need to learn. There are certain things that you would do that you would think you're doing good, but in actual fact, you're putting yourself in deep shit. Spending, the only thing that has held you down in this case and you are not working freely without any possible charge is what we call procurement. And the procurement is because your friend said, I want a nurse. I explained this thing about a few weeks ago, but I see that a lot of you don't stay. You're coconut head. There's nothing else to enter. You used to stay in the back of the coconuts. But I will still say it for the purpose of our people who are very intellectual, who have minds to listen. Procurement. Somebody comes to you to say, I want a nurse. The person has indirectly or directly told you, I want a nurse. Nurse. You now have to check. Who is a nurse? A nurse is somebody who has been to nursing school and carries a proper certification, meaning the person must be properly certified to be a nurse who can carry out nurse's duties. Because if you actually got a proper nurse will know where to administer, on what body part or what location that kind of administration could have been done. The nurse would have known that she wouldn't have administered such a thing in your house, would have probably advised that you have to go to a hospital. But no, you got a quack. Now, when your friend said, I want a nurse, and you went further to present the number of somebody, it means that you have deemed it fit. Because the law says, he who must come to equity must come with clean hands. Spending, you are standing before equity with soiled hands. You were asked for a nurse. You presented somebody who you believed to have been a nurse. And based on your own judgment, your friend went further to make a judgment call. First thing, you gave him the number of a nurse. Yes, the question now goes, should Mohbad also be held responsible for him not doing his due diligence to finding out if this person is a properly qualified nurse? That is an argument for another court. Unfortunately, that is not an argument for the coroner court. That will probably be an argument I expect your lawyer to be looking into if your lawyer was half as intelligent and not thinking of it will still be who brought the nurse, who recommended the nurse in other balances. Now, you recommended a nurse and your friend assumed, even though there should be no assumption in this case, assumed that you were giving him a proper nurse. And when that nurse came, based on the actions of that nurse, things took the turn for the worse and your friend passed. Because you did not do your due diligence in giving your friend the nurse he asked for. If he had told you, Spending, I beg, find person where go come treat this my hand. Honestly, Spending, you will be working right now. Because you found person where go come treat this my hand could have been a Red Cross member. Person where go come treat this man could have been an auxiliary nurse. Person where go come treat this man could have been a Bele, could have been a pharmacist, could have been anybody. But he specifically asked you for a nurse. And that is why you are here. You are not here because someone me mentioned your name. Because I see you write up on Instagram and things like that. It reflects that you are acting on emotions. And unfortunately for you, the law is blind to your emotions. The law is only visible to what is law. And what is law simply states, he who must come to equity must first come with clean hands. Come knowing that you have no spot on your hand, and then you will walk freely and go home and sleep on your bed. However, at the same time, if you have a proper lawyer, you would still walk. And that's the truth. So instead of you and your lawyer to spend time strategizing on how you can get yourself out of this seeming Oreni Moshe, you are spending your time lashing out on Instagram and acting out of emotions. And that even tells me that your sister, be your godmother, whatever, Queen Alaja, that calls herself a lawyer. Oh my God. I wonder the law school you attended. I would really like to question your results from that law school because it shows how low the capacity of your mind is. Come on. Lawyers our minds are broad. We are
Please
fast
be
thinkers.
tapping, be tapping.
We think on our feet by the second. Come on, you have 17 months and all you can come up with is Mumi Olori Buruku lomoye, Omoshi lomoye. Is that what we're talking about here? What is on trial is not how good a wife Omomi was. That's not what's on trial. Her character is not what is on trial. What's on trial today is how did this young man pie? And unfortunately, your godson or whatever was the one who procured the nurse on their behalf. So if you're listening to me today, maybe next time somebody tells you, I want a nurse, please go further to tell them, I beg go. The one why I don't know whether a nurse have been auxiliary. Go further and make sure you state it. So that if a case like this happens later, you'll be able to say, I tell her say na auxiliary nurse, I tell her say I don't know in the state of your education. Which would have meant that even though you still went further to call the person, the onus would not have lied on Mohbad to do his findings, even though he still had the responsibility of making sure that where he was seeking treatment from was the appropriate place. Because as at when the nurse came in, he was not unconscious, he was of capacity, he was mentally alert. He knew to say yes or say no. Submitting his body was his complete choice. Accepting the treatment was his complete choice. Therefore, it is his choice what happened to him. That's why Omomi is not liable. Those of you that are saying, why Omomi only in duty of care to stand there? Even if Omomi stood there, what would have happened would have still happened. Because at the end of the day, she's not a medical practitioner. She was not the one in charge of his medication at that time.
Not clinically inclined.
As a matter of fact, even if Omomi was a medical practitioner, if she had treated Mohbad at that time, she would have been held liable because it is against the ethics of the medical profession for you to be medically involved in the treatment of your spouse or loved one. Don't you guys know that? By law, Omomi is bounded to not be involved. She's bound, sorry, wrong English. She's bound to not be involved. Because of the emotional attachment she has to Mohbad, she cannot even be involved in that treatment. So she does not have the right to administer any treatment to him. She can observe. However, if the medical professional in the room feels like our observation is beginning to interfere with his own medical judgment, it is his or her right to ask her to excuse them. So nurse, even if you came up with the defense of, she's the one that said, I should come and clinical, you are very stupid. Were you not taught in ethics that it is your right to walk anybody out who is impairing with your judgment? Because whatever happens to that patient will be totally on you, regardless of how you felt by the interference of the person's spouse or loved one. That is why doctors do not treat their children. They do not, I'm coming, ma. They do not treat their children, they do not treat their wives, they do not treat their mothers, they do not treat their fathers. Where they do, they are held liable. They are held as liable as any other medical practitioner. Because it is believed that in the process of performing your medical duties, your emotions could interfere with your medical judgment and in turn jeopardize the life that is in your hands.
So however,
let's wake up. Please.
Anita, please, let me just add to what you said. There's something called duty of condo. So when you have a patient, we have families that are in hospital that are under treatment in care. We owe them that duty of conduct to tell them. However, the patient has to consent to it. They have to consent, as in you document it that this is my nearest relative, this is the person you can discuss my matter. If the person does not consent, no go area.
Exactly. Well, in Nigeria,
remember to clap for yourself. Only could clap for yourself.
I'm coming. In Nigeria, it's a bit different. In Nigeria, such laws are not expressly stipulated.
So sad.
They are not even solely respected. People go against that because really in Nigeria, we do not take lawsuits seriously. Nobody has sued anybody for anything. So people just act in a very stupid manner. As a matter of fact, the nurse was supposed to clearly tell them what she was giving and how it would even affect him, but she never did. She just went ahead to administer.
And she never checked the parameters of Mohbad. She didn't check if he's got blood pressure.
Exactly.
She didn't check vital signs. She didn't do anything. She just came there and administered. If she did, let her prove it.
Yeah. And then to digress a little, those of you miscreants that keep going on Yomi Fabayi's page, and this is not alleged.
Or Paparano's page.
this is not allegedly. Those of you miscreants that have been going on Yomi Fabi, I'm not, this particular topic is not even for paparazzi. There's something I want to address. That have been going on Yomi Fabi's page and you have been saying a lot of nonsense. When Yomi Fabi came and told you guys the other day that he wrote a petition against Omomi, you people stupidly believed that it was true. Guess what? Today, when a petition has been addressed against Yomi Fabi, you see that he has come out to say now that they are chasing him with petition up and down. Please, did Wunmi tell you they were chasing out with petitions up and down? Let us open our mind. Open your mind. Stop allowing people to fool you. Because what now come now go they shout justice for my bank account. Nobody send when I'm on arrest 10 million give all do money election flow Sarah.
Tell them. Tell them. Come on, tell them.
And if Yomi does not have a good lawyer to defend himself as to why he deserves to collect that 10 million, you should please contact me. I'll give him free legal services. Because at the end of the day, that's the only way you guys do lots will learn. Any suru. That's the only way you lots will learn. You will learn to put your money where your mouth is and stop throwing your monies up and down. Come on, guys, wake up and stop dowing for nonsense. Rubbish.
Please, somebody show me taxi finish. I want to study law. I want to go to law school. Ma?
About attack lateris. IT. Orotimi. They should be here listening. If they have some sense in them.
Well, they don't. They are empty upstairs, actually. They're very empty.
That's our OIST. Please follow the OIST. Very intellectual. Somebody.
So that's it, guys.
It's a lawyer by training. Oh, mommy Anita. Kilofe.
Anita.
Kilofe. I want to give you a blank check.
All I want is ma.
I say I will give you more fair. My word.
Anita, man, like intellectual stimulation.
Why do you think my husband love me? Maybe I say I was going to the Lord.
Justice for that one. For me, I dash it to Mr. Latosin.
Can he be a coming? For fair,
Mr. Dawa ti lọ gbà wẹ̀.
Pẹ̀lú dáwà lọ́wọ́ mi. Ẹ fèmí àti dáwà lẹ́wọ̀n ọkùnrin láti ní kámẹ́rà down.
Leave it, they should leave it. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Àpárá ojú kan fìkan ríran ni.
They should leave it. After all, it's your camera down. It's not for anybody.
Àpárá ojú kan fìkan ríran ni o. So that's it o. Ẹ kàn máa sọ̀rọ̀ everyday.
Dave, Abby, please say something again. Say something again. Say something. Just say anything. Anything at all. Just say anything.
Bisola, ṣé olú tọ́pù ìtàgé ṣe báyìí analyze ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu. Paná ojú kan ṣe kí n bá dọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ ń sìn ọ̀rọ̀ títọ̀ díẹ̀ bí dára ṣe ṣe kìíní kan. Wọ́n gbé tí mo kó nǹkan tó wọn máa gbọ́ lẹ́nu wọn ni.
Oh my God.
Bọ́lí bí bá mi ṣe zoo yìí náà. Ṣé lọ pé bọ́ọ̀dù mi?
Jọ́ọ́ bí o ti ṣí zoo báyìí kò yá.
Bọ́lí bí open zoo now. Wetin dey sup? Lion can't chop everybody here.
Ọmọ kan tí Bísọ́lá wá sí àfọ́jú ìsìkàkà for long. Fún mo tún ti láwọn.
Ló kó èèyàn lọ́wọ́ ni, mi ìfẹ́ ló kó èèyàn lọ́wọ́
Hey God, thank you, ladies. Thank you.
You're so excited today. You're supposed to have
I love it.
Have a bottle of wine.
I've known Dave Abby for the longest. Like she changed her name, but that picture is still there.
Yeah,
I think it's still the same picture, but she changed her name. You know, she changed
her name.
It wasn't Dave.
First time I heard her voice was here. Was when we opened this place. It was when she came and I heard her voice.
No, Dave Abby, you've been here, as in you've been on Justice for a long time now, for the longest, yeah.
Yeah, Dave Abby.
Dave Abby,
Yeah.
are you there? Blink twice. Pythagoras, my fellow learned colleague, my senior learned colleague, actually.
Yes, so
It's just more intellectual.
intellectual to you.
Hi everyone.
Intellectual to you.
Froze and for like 5-10 minutes.
Did you ever change your name, ma?
There trying to get it to work, but now I'm back. No,
when we were giving this beautiful submission, they came.
Ma, did you ever change your name or be your picture?
I think I followed that the moment I heard her submission on. Yeah, I followed that.
Her phone is freezing.
She doesn't even have enough. I follow
because I know when she came on, it was here.
76 followers.
When I told her that you can come here, you can go to Temis. I remember. It was when we opened there, no. Boya Bolly be mistake for another person.
Yeah. More repetitive followers. Really.
She just came. You better awala sọ fún wa pa Temis platform though. Yeah.
I don't think
Never to pay.
that was when I followed that. She gave a very beautiful submission on that day. I can't
Yes, she
remember.
did a submission here, in fact. Now when we talk of weight loss, now she join us. That period of weight loss and I forgot
Anita,
the topic.
you
weight
know
loss.
that weight loss conversation, that's what got me. You remember?
Yeah, I remember. We stopped now because our Muslim brothers we are respecting them. Let them finish their fasting. Those of you that have not lost weight, we are going to flog you. We might lose weight here. All right.
Weight loss. I think I saw a picture now. What did they to lose for weight?
I need to maintain my body.
It's our seizure.
There's a particular dress I wanted to use for something. What you zip by money?
What size is that? 10.
Nah, 12.
12. That's not bad.
Hey.
I'm lose weight before. I don't know about that. It's not bad. And maybe because I'm a
Okay. Sorry, everybody. I've been struggling. I've been battling with my phone. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear.
I was saying you only have very little followers.
We can hear you now.
Follow Devabi now.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys, please
I've
follow
always been
Devabi,
Devabi.
please.
Me? Thank you. I've always been Devabi. I've never changed my name. There's something.
Is another lawyer then? Is another lawyer.
There's something to amuse me, and I want us to discuss it. This thing I don't listen to Baba Mohbad's interview because I just can't stand that man speak for more than 1 or 2 minutes. So I just get off his interviews. But I was hearing from Temis platform that he said if he finally discovers that Liam is his son, he's going to sue Wumi for taking his grandson, 5 months old, to a concert. Please, is it true? He said it.
No, it wasn't a 5 months old. The concert was of recent. So just before he clocked to 1 plus.
What he's saying is
No. The one she went with Mohbad.
No, that's not the one he wants to sue her for. The one he wants to sue her for is the one she went for recent.
Joe.
Okay, tó fi gbé ọmọ yẹn tó ń gbé sókè.
Yeah. Táyà ń gbé sọ́rùn. Yeah.
Let somebody ask him who sued him when he was using Mohbad for child slavery.
Child slavery, God bless
child
you.
labor.
Child abuse. Who sued him when his children were witnessing domestic violence? Ibi tó ti ń yọ àdá sí ìyá wọn.
Who sued
the bastard? He's a madman.
Who sued him when he could not fulfill his parental rights in giving his children the proper education they deserve?
You know what? The thing is, there is nothing like parental rights. It's only parental responsibility.
Yeah.
When he could not fulfill his parental responsibilities, tí ò lè rán ọmọ lọ school.
Who sued him?
Kò sí tó tẹ̀ parí
Àti ò lè fún Mohbad lóúnjẹ tó yẹ pé ilé prime boy Mohbad ti lọ jẹun. Who sued him?
16.
He's mad.
Do you know that there was an interview where Baba Mohbad admitted that the reason why Mohbad and Prime Boy became friends was because Prime Boy was involved in fraud.
Yahoo.
And Mohbad went there to learn fraud from Prime Boy. Who said when he did not report that to the police?
He's on my Facebook page.
He's a madman. He is a madman.
He even collected the first proceeds from the Yahoo, which was the 300,000 naira he claimed was the first money Mohbad got. Used 100,000 to buy piano into the church. Wọ́n ṣì ń bẹ ẹ pẹ́ o pé kìíní kan á jókòó tí ẹ ni. Á jókòó tí ẹ ni o mọ ni. Ikú ń bọ́ ọmọ rìn ọmọ òfura. You know where.
He's just joking. There is a lot of laxity in the Corona court.
Oh, you've not seen it, Bisola? You know my Facebook page. I will send you my Facebook page. You see it there. I'll share it with you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Proper prosecution.
You check it there.
Okay. Court. ayé gbogbo wọn pátápátá. Gbogbo èyí tí wọ́n lẹ́nu tí wọ́n lọ ń demonstrate níwájú corona tó bá bí ìyá láyà wọn re tó bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ proper court sitting kọ́ lọ síbẹ̀ kọ́ lọ máa demonstrate.
ẹ jẹ́ ká parí kéèsì Mohbad justice after justice la fẹ́ ṣe á.
kí ló dé ẹ jẹ́ kán lọ bẹ̀ àwọn náà right náà ẹ jẹ́ kán lọ ṣe gbogbo
kan. Mr. kí lorúkọ ti wọ yẹn náà ta ló pa Mohbad o ó wù mí o tó bá ti bí ẹ̀dá láwọ̀ ní sùúrù mọ́ visit mo fẹ́ pass message tó bá ti lè bí ẹ̀dá láwọ̀ studio kó bá ti wọ studio kó wá sọ pé Wùmí Alọ́ba ni mò ń bá wí o irú àwa báyìí á bẹ ọmọ wa pé kó mọ̀ ṣù rẹ̀ á jẹ́ kó rí yẹn kó go viral ọmọ kan tó máa ṣe gbogbo proceed láti orin yẹn á wàá jókòó ní.
àwa gbowó gbogbo ẹ̀.
Let's say they craze.
Who even sang that nonsense music for?
We know they rush. You go sit down, you go do, you go collect the money. Wàá ṣiṣẹ́ fóníṣẹ́ jẹ.
Only the patient dog eat the fattest.
Eat the fattest bone. You like say you dey joke. Àwọn intellectual àpọ̀.
Tẹ́ bá gbogbo wọn tó wà ní team Josin yẹn. If you look at all of them, bunch of irresponsible men. Can't give submission be by. I'll just be thinking in my head.
Àwọn tó ń nà ìyàwó wọn nílé.
Ìyàwó kan náà ló fẹ́lẹ̀.
Àwọn kan máa ṣerú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn.
There's a question for you in the comments. I think you've addressed it before. There's a question for you.
Please. Talk about women tó ń náà ti bímọ. Táwọn náà ṣe rádaràda. What do we say about them?
Don't worry, official Suki, don't worry.
It's going on now. It's going on. The law is slow but sure.
It's going on.
It's not going. You go soon here.
No worry.
My main done on that page.
She's responding to me.
Oh, okay. Lenchi went to US.
Okay, see on your page, Dada.
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Okay, so Alagidi Atalagbara. 1 second, everyone. 1 second, everyone. Alagidi Atalagbara is asking a question. Lenchi went to the US to ask for Mohbad in NMS. So that was a
Anita, hold on. You want to tell me that if they're going to take a specimen to US, are they going to use the name Mohbad there? Or is it going to come with the code?
So what I will ask you is, Alagidi Atalagbara, I think the way I will break it down to you is this. First and foremost, was it Mohbad's family who took the sample to NMS?
They will never give the answer.
When you are dealing with somebody, especially when it has to do with medicine, the person who contracts
confidentiality,
Data Protection Act.
The John now. Ma show you. Visit ati ma show you.
No.
All of now when they work with Jose.
Continue.
I don't show now. Now, Alagidi Atalagbara, I'm actually addressing, and I know that I'm addressing a few persons as well. Apart from the HIPAA law in the US, it's a normal logic. I want to bring this down to like a layman's term. Because if we start talking about HIPAA law, you might not get it. If I come to you to buy bread, and then Ashake now comes and says, did Anita come to buy? No, please, can you give me the receipt of the bread Anita bought from you? You will be stupid to give it to Ashake because Ashake did not give you anything. To not even make the man, I'm just saying how foolish they are. Oh, okay, sorry, that's fine. To not even make it worse, you are dealing with a governmental body who took a sample to an institution in the US. Of course, when they were going, they never wrote any name on it. They deal with codes. So Mohbad, yes, NMS is right when they say they never saw Mohbad sample. Because the sample that came to them did not carry Mohbad Ilerioluwa Aloba. No. It didn't even carry Mohbad. That's not even his name. So even if you put his full name, it didn't carry his name. It went there with what we call a batch number. It went there with a batch number. And let me tell you why it will not even carry his name. It could be, if it had carried his name and the result had come out, do you know that I can argue that the result came out in that manner because it was needed to come out in that manner. In order for NMS to have no bias in conducting the test, they would remove the name. They would only put what we call a batch number. And when it comes back, don't also forget, that may not have been the only sample that was even sent. Other things may have been sent as well to NMS. And NMS would only give such information to the Lagos state government
I'm
Who
not.
in
I'm
turn,
not
after getting the information, would have to now transcribe it into proper documentation. Of course, they will have. Now me born this guy. Okay,
what is this?
I
Whose name
am.
is this?
Of course, they will have to go back to the books,
What's going on?
check her name, I say her name, check his name, and check the bat number that had been recorded down. It has to match the bat number of the result that is coming back from NMS, and with that, they will now be able to publish a result. And if you notice, even when the result comes out, it will first be written in pure, plain medical terms. And that is why such results will not be read by a lawyer, it will not be read by the judge, it will not be read by the bailiff, it will not be read by any other person but a medical personnel. Why? Because it is written in the language of medicine. It is not written in a layman's language. Every profession has its language that is attached to it.
Of course.
And when they say it, they alone are the ones that can put a proper interpretation to it. And if you notice also, it wasn't just given to any doctor. They didn't ask a general medical practitioner to come and read it. They did not ask a gynecologist to come and read it. Because this particular report goes to a particular arm of medicine. And because of the sensitivity attached to it, it is important that persons from that arm of medicine be the one to come and read it and make sure that there's no ambiguity. It is after it has been transposed from the medical language or the pathological language or the autopsy language or whatever that a lawyer can now pick it up and go from there.